Hi everyone, welcome to Things Lucy Reads. I'm Luce and this is my March Plan With Me video. Just to begin with, I'm just showing a flip through of my February setup, which was the long-awaited Critical Role theme. And here you can see it mostly filled in. So my theme for March was not so much a theme as just a colour scheme. I'm going away for the second week of March, and so I really wanted this to be a very simple theme with minimal pens so that I could very easily just take them away. In the pen thing on the front of my notebook was the original plan, but now I'm going to take my whole pencil case just because. But I just wanted it to be very simple, so I have just one fine liner and one brush pen for the theme, like the main things that I'm going to be filling out this month. So I have this very beautiful purple Tombow brush pen. The shade number is 676. It's absolutely gorgeous and it matches the washi tape that I chose just absolutely perfectly. And I originally was using a brown Kmart fine liner for the writing part, but I started having an issue with this one, which I also had a little bit in January. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen me upload a TBR spread, and half of the ink in the middle of that page ran like you wouldn't believe. And at first I thought it was that the paper from this journal just does not like Kmart fine liners. But I think actually that it's more related to how hot it's been in the last 2 months and also how humid it's been, because I started to have the problem not nearly as badly with a Staedtler fine liner, but it is like when you take the ink off the page and it leaves a little dot, that dot is spreading much more than it usually does. So I think it's just a widespread problem with every pen, but it's just happening less with the Staedtler ones than it is with the Kmart ones. I will test it in a few months in the winter when it's cold and see if they do the same thing. So I just dealt with the pen running a lot at the beginning of making these spreads, and then partway through I changed pens because it just got too much to deal with, and the ink was still running even after I was storing the pen upside down. So even though the new pen doesn't match quite as well, it just worked better. So that font that I'm using is a font called Party Business. I've used it a lot in previous journals, but not so much last year and not at all yet this year. I used to be so good at drawing it freehand that I could just make every letter look absolutely uniform, but now I'm out of practice. And every time I look at that C in March, it looks like a T. So for the rest of this video, this month is called Marth, because that's what it looks like every time I look at that title. To get around the fact that the brown ink was just running so much, what I did was I put whiteout over where I needed to write, because these Kmart fine liners are the best pens for writing on whiteout tape that I've ever used. Outside of just like a regular ballpoint pen, these ones are the absolute best. They do it so well, they don't rip up the whiteout. It's actually incredible. So yeah, so I just wrote everything on top of a strip of whiteout and just dealt with it, because there was nothing else that I could do except change pens, which I did end up doing, but not for this spread. So this is just the same calendar spread that I do all the time. It's 6 by 6. On one side I have 4 squares, on the other side I have 3 squares, and then I put washi tape somewhere for decoration, and then I have a running tracker for any zip or afterpays that I have to pay off, because there's still a lot of them. But luckily we're going into busy season, so hopefully I can start paying them off in a real way for now. I mean, I'm on top of afterpays, but the rest of it, let's just not talk about. It's my business. So this is a sticker from Quirky Cup Collective. I will leave it linked down below, and this washi tape is by Laya Rose Art. I've talked about that shop before. It's not always open, but if you follow Laya on social media, you'll be able to see when it's open and place your order. The washi is amazing. And then those little decoration stickers were by Fox and Cactus. I will link them all down below. Because the brown pen was not working, I didn't actually fill out these spreads during the first batch of doing this plan with me, so I just kind of did what I could with the brush pen and came back to it later. So that's why we're just running through it very quickly. And I also cut out literally 2 minutes of footage of me trying to get the back off of that teacup sticker because it was so hard. It took me a really long time, but I got there in the end, which is literally all that matters. So we're just not going to talk about that either. But everything that I use will be linked down below as always. If I can link to the specific product, I will. If I can't, I will just link to the shop because some, like I think those Galaxy Reading Girls, I think they're currently out of stock. Fox and Cactus does its Vault restock in January, I think it is, or perhaps it was early February this year. I don't remember. Anyway, keep an eye on them. Occasionally they come back. And then that's a little candle that says sweater weather. I don't think that's available at the moment either, but if it is, I will link it. And I'm about to stick on a little pot plant sticker from Keeper of the Suns, which was purple on a sheet full of green. So of course I had to use it. And I will link that sheet down below as well. Can confirm that it's available at the moment because I bought it very recently. Yeah, this one. Oh, it was just perfect. Had to use it. Alrighty, so yeah, you can see me holding the pen upside down there. It didn't really help me very much. It went okay writing on top of the brush pen, but other than that, it just ran everywhere. And I think the problem is the heat, and I think the ink is just a little bit too wet in the barrel of the pen at the moment, and too much of it is coming out, which is making it run on the page. But I won't be able to prove this theory until winter. So here I am with a different pen. It's like this tan colored Staedtler one, which does not match as well, but it gives me no grief, which is more than I can say for the Kmart one. So this is the same TBR spread as I always draw, with the little squares indicating 10 pages. And I learned a fun thing about rulers. So I've been having this issue with my rulers where it just absolutely rips up my fine liners. Like the nibs go all a little bit fuzzy because they're constantly scraping against the edge of the ruler. And I just happened to Google a ruler that won't ruin my pen, and I found out that people who use fountain pens have the same issue that I have with fine liners, in that the side of the ruler ruins the nib. And I found out that when fountain pens were the norm, convention was with a ruler that you would hold it with the beveled side down, not the broad flat side. So that way the edge of the ruler is up above the page and it's not in contact with the very end of your nib. And this was revolutionary for me. And that stopped being the practice because people stopped using fountain pens with such regularity, but they kept making rulers with the bevel on because that was the way rulers had always been made. So you probably, I don't know if you can tell, but I am using the ruler upside down for this one, and it was just amazing. Like, it felt so much better to use. Obviously with the fine liner, because the brush pen, because the nib is so long, it was still in contact with it, and I did get purple lines on my fingers from touching the ruler, but that is what it is. And I just feel so much better about holding the ruler upside down. So hopefully it changes your life the way that it has changed mine, because I was just gobsmacked when I found this out. Just the more you know. And then this is the same booktube spread as always. I always do it like 3 columns of 8, but every single time I have to go back to the previous page and just double check that it's 3 columns of 8. Like, I know that it is, but I have to check anyway because anxiety brain. Like, it's just a thing. I just have to do it. I haven't been on my game with booktube much in February. It's been just a little bit of a weird time and I haven't really done anything about it, but I really have to get back on track with it this month because we're coming into busy season, and if I don't catch up now, I won't be able to catch up for 6 months. So hopefully I can get on top of it. I really like how this theme came out. Like, the colors just match really, really nicely, and I really love this witchy bookshelf washi tape as well, and I'm really glad that I finally spotlighted it in a thread, because in a theme, not a thread, because I just really like it. And I'm glad that I had a brush pen that matched it so perfectly. So shout out to my friend Jess, because she sent me her entire collection of Tombow brush pens, which is over 200 of them. And now I have all these extra colours I didn't have before. Incredible. My self-care page, it's the same as always. You might be looking at this and going, but there are 4 weeks in March, and you're correct, but I'm going away for one of them, so I will not need to change sheets or pillows or pajamas in that time because I won't be in my bed for a week. So I've got it all sorted. Don't you worry, I know exactly what I'm doing. And I just want to shout out to myself from February, because all of the extra things I added to this list I got done, which is absolutely unheard of. I've never done all of them before, but I did last month, and I feel very proud of myself. So good job, past me. So we're coming up to the end of the video now. I'm about to do my flip through in a second, so I will just say now, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to leave me a comment if you like. If you just want to let me know that you're here, leave me the purple heart. And hopefully you've enjoyed this and that you like this theme. Those moon stickers are from Keeper of the Suns also. I'll link them down below. Everything will be linked. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.